New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents On Purpose with Reverend Beth Linguri. Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Central European Time. Come find purpose, nurture growth, and live your passion. And now On Purpose with Reverend Beth Linguri.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this launch of our new broadcast on New Thought Media Network. So excited, really excited to be here today and to welcome you all to this broadcast. I'm your host, Reverend Beth Linguri. I'm a retired minister from Centers for Spiritual Living, and I was the founder of the Center for Spiritual Living in Geneva in Switzerland some many years ago. Many of you may have come to our summer conference at the Chateau de Bossé, which you'll see in the background. Today, I greet you from Florida. Perhaps you can see the sunshine in the background and the trees. But I'll be leaving on Friday and returning to Switzerland. So next week, when we come together, I will be back in Switzerland. So welcome to this On Purpose, a weekly broadcast in which I will share with you the words of wisdom that have given me purpose in my life, direction. So what is this? I do know that each one is here in this body, in this time and space, to live his or her purpose. So this time together is an opportunity to deepen that connection and to live more in alignment with one's purpose, especially as each one remembers that we are here on purpose for a specific purpose, and each one is different. Each one has a unique reason for being here. So what are we going to do during this time? I'm going to begin to share with you my own journey of a life on purpose, how I uncovered that, how it worked and didn't work, some ups and downs. So hopefully from that you will learn some pitfalls and some strategies to move back into your purpose. I'll share some of my favorite authors and viewpoints and advice and suggestions that I received from them along this way. And then I will invite some guests, perhaps some of my former students from Geneva or from Botswana or Ukraine or wherever. And I will invite them to share their story. So what is this program about? It is about you. It is about each one who is here today with me in this space. So let's join in a moment of reflection and contemplation. Take a deep breath and relax and release. I find that the breath is always a conduit to deepen the connection with the soul, with the inner voice. And so I invite you to join me, releasing that breath into this now moment. And if you care to, you can just gently close your eyes. If that helps you to move away from the distractions around you. And move into the space of now. This time, this space, now. This moment of creation. There is only this moment now. I know that each one here is a creation of the divine with a purpose, a divine purpose, to live this life, this journey on purpose. And so I know that this time together is a time of uncovering, of relaxing, of moving into the center of one's being. And so the listening is with an intention to allow the words to deepen one's own spiritual connection. Take another deep breath and open up one's heart. Open up the heart to that space. Space of deep listening. The place we are standing on this moment, the place where you are sitting, is holy ground. This is a sacred space. This is a sacred moment. I invite you to release all expectations, all ideas, all concepts, and move deeper into this stillness, this place of listening. And just allow what you're feeling right now to experience that a little bit more deeply. And just let go, release and let go, and become the observer. The observer of your thoughts, the observer of the thoughts that I share with you with the words. And so I know that this time together is holy, it is blessed, it is sacred. I know that it is good. And so it is. And so I'd like to begin our talk today just with a little bit of quotes, a few quotes that are important to me. I'm going to share with you from this little red book, This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes. And he calls our attention in the opening chapter to this idea that each one of us is called. You, like all others, are seeking the joy of living. You wish to be needed, to be loved, and to be included in the great drama of life. This urge is in every individual. It's in everything. The rose exists to express beauty. Root and branch conspire with nature to give birth to blossom. An artist will starve in his garret that he may chisel an angelic form from a slab of marble, compelling the unyielding substance to accept his breath of creation. I love that image, the artist chiseling the angelic form from a slab of marble. Michelangelo reminded us in his autobiography that when he looked at the slab of marble, he simply chipped away what was there so that all could see. And when he chipped away, what was there was the statue of David. So today I invite you to reflect on that in your own life. Are we all that potential? And we chip away at that which stands in our way of expressing our true purpose and our divinity. Michael Beckwith always reminds us, and in his introduction to visioning, he speaks of each one as a gift. Each one is a gift of the divine to the universe. But too often we can't imagine what to do with it. We may feel adrift and lost. We may feel frustrated. We may long desperately for meaning. We want to make our life count. And we want to express the gifts of spirit that we know we are here to bring forth. But we search in vain to discover just what these unique gifts of ours are and how we might express them. We look in vain because we look outside of ourselves. We may follow someone's well-meaning advice, or we may follow the trend of the times, or a desire to please someone, or impress someone, or to do what's socially acceptable. This is a reactive approach. And I'm inviting you to take a proactive approach. Because the vision for your life, the purpose for your life, is deep within, not without. We seek within for that purpose. What is our purpose for being here? Beckwith writes, it is to be a revealer of love. A revealer of love. That's our only purpose, he says, to be a revealer of love. But we each have an individual way to do that. And each one is different. Each snowflake is different and unique. And if we don't discover our purpose, if I don't discover mine, then that purpose can never be expressed. So it behooves me to really connect and understand what my purpose is and how I can express it. So what does Holmes say to us in this book? He quotes Emerson. Emerson says, every man is a doorway through which the infinite passes. Every man is a doorway through which the infinite passes into life, through which the divine or the God or the creative urge of the universe or the truth, whatever name we give to that ineffable source of life. So each man, each woman is a doorway through which the infinite passes into the finite, through which this divine expression expresses and becomes the individual. He writes again, you are to believe with utmost simplicity and with complete faith that there is a pattern of your being, a real spirit of you. And this pattern is constantly seeking to manifest. And you know this because of these irresistible urges, the longings to live life more fully. You can't quite put this urge into words sometimes. I remember when I was searching for purpose in my life and in a very busy time, I got confused by likes and dislikes. And I said, oh, I like to do this. I like to do that. I want this. I desire that. And so I sought to satisfy those desires. But they were desires of the ego. They were desires of my values and subconscious beliefs that I had received from my childhood, but they weren't my inner voice. They weren't my inner values. And so I became frustrated. I was attached to the outcomes. And if I didn't see the outcomes, I could become angry, sad, withdrawn. And it wasn't until I began to read this book and to reflect on this idea that it's not from outside, but from inside. And that this is the only something that can make me whole. This is the pathway to wholeness. So I invite you, don't be afraid of this urging, of this deeper urge, that you have the possibility to accept this urge or reject it and go back to satisfying your desires, what you want, what you like. Another barrier that I found on the pathway is that sometimes we see our relationships as restrictive, as preventing us from living our purpose, from being who we were supposed to be. And I was delighted to read in a recent saying from Fritjof Capra, another mentor of mine whom I've enjoyed reading through the years. And he said, the way I see it now is that we develop our personhood and our pathway and our true nature through our relationships to others. So in fact, the fact that our true nature arises from our relationship does not make us humans special or distinct from other living systems. What makes us special is our capacity for self-reflection. So that's a purpose for this time together, is to engage in this time of self-reflection. Personally, I keep a journal. I don't know if any of you keep journals, but I find that a journal that I can carry with me, a little notebook or something that I can take with me each day. And as these reflections come, I can note them down. I can jot down little ideas that come to me on my walks or in chats with someone. And each little note that I make, each reflection, each insight or aha moment supports me on this pathway to uncovering purpose. Another author I appreciate so much is Anne Morrow Lindbergh. She has written this beautiful book of Gift from the Sea, which I reread recently. And it touched my heart and soul. I love the beach. It's one of my favorite places to reflect and to meditate and contemplate. I think, and if I'm doing an inner visualization in which I want to go inside and visualize a perfect place, a quiet place, it's always the beach. The empty beach with the sea rolling, and it just takes away the distractions of everyday life. So she goes to the beach and she writes this book, Gift from the Sea, and she finds shells. And each shell, she reflects, takes it back to her little cottage. She's all alone. And she reflects on the message that that shell gives her. And as she reflects, she says these words. First of all, in fact, I want to end all these desires and be at peace with myself. I want a singleness of purpose, a purity of intention, a central core in my life that will enable me to carry out all the obligations and activities of family life, as a mother, as a wife, as a teacher, preacher, whatever. I want to live in grace. The grace, and by grace, I mean an inner harmony, essentially spiritual, which can be translated into outward harmony in everything I do. So having this underlying purpose does not prevent us from our everyday activities, but it adds focus. It adds purpose. just because it comes from our own intention to live this purpose. So I'd like to close our time together here by, again, a time of contemplation and reflection, and invite you to come back next week, weeks in the future, as we journey together. I'd like to hear from you and to make a way, open a way to carry on a conversation, to share together, and to form a community. I know that the spiritual life is one that is lived alone, but is lived in community. Community is a wonderful support for each one of us on this journey. So although we are each in our individual place in our sacred space today, and each day as we join together, we will open up to a wider community of sharing and support on this journey. I close with these words from Joseph Campbell. And if you've read Joseph Campbell or seen the film that Bill Moyers did on PBS of his sayings and his advice and his wonderful words of wisdom, one of his famous statements is, "Follow your bliss. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid." Take a breath. Don't be afraid. Follow your bliss. When you do this, he continues, when you do this, you put yourself on a kind of track that's been there all along, waiting for you. That track for the life you were born to live. And when you do that, doors will open and you'll be helped by hidden hands. You'll be helped by hidden hands. Find what gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of being, a sense of mission, a sense of participation, and follow that path. The experience of life is more valuable than understanding the meaning of life. So go live it. Live that life. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this journey together and looking forward to hearing from each one of you. I'd like to give a special word of thanks to my producer, our producer for this program as well, behind the scenes. Fiona Strafford is a practitioner from Geneva and has really visioned and has explored this idea and presented it to me and asked if I would do it. And when I went deep in my heart, I knew that my answer was yes. Yes. So I invite each one of you to say yes to coming along with me on this journey. I'll close with a moment of contemplation and just gratitude. Gratitude for this space and time and for the New Thought Media Network that is such a powerful connector. Gratitude for each one, seeking to move within and create intention in one's life to follow that unique purpose, to love in the way that is designed for me to love and to serve. And I know that truth. I know that beauty, and that I state that claim for each one. So we close today and we go in peace. Thank you for joining me. And so it is.
Thanks for watching. Join us again next Wednesday for more of On Purpose with Reverend Beth Linguri, only on New Thought Media Network. Learn more at www.ntmedia.org.